Welcome back. There are growing calls for people to join in the fight against climate change. A group of activists took to the streets in Cape Town today. They're calling on to act against climate change. eNCA's Lindsay Dentliger has been tracking that story for us and joins us now live from Cape Town. Thanks so much for your time, Lindsay. We do understand that government's power generation choices have been criticised. Speak to us about what happened today in the protest for government to get involved in climate change in the country.
Well, Heidi, today's protest in Cape Town was part of a global initiative. While we might be celebrating Heritage Day here in South Africa, elsewhere around the world, global climate change activists have been protesting against their various governments for, in their eyes, not doing enough to combat climate change, and all the related aspects that go with that, including reliance on fossil fuels for power generation. So in Cape Town today, the same group of protesters, largely young school-going teens and other young people who protested on the exact same spot last year outside the gates of Parliament, asking for government to do more, claiming that government is being too apathetic and not in agreement with government's choices in terms of what they plan to do to increase South Africa's capacity to generate electricity, and more recently, as you know, those controversial car powership deals for gas at sea power plants, obviously today at the forefront of many of these activists' mind, and which they were protesting against, and handed over a memorandum of 7 demands to Parliament.
Speak to us about government's reaction to all of this. You mentioned the fact that this is not the first time these young people have been protesting outside Parliament. Do we have any indication on whether government has considered what they are asking for?
Well, Heidi, I happened to attend the protest last year as well, and today seemed to be a little bit more organized in terms of getting those whose attention these young activists wanted to grab, to get them physically present to take that list of demands, among them that the school curriculum be amended to include more of the kind of learning and sciences about climate change, that Parliament establish a portfolio committee specifically to deal with climate change, because they feel right now government is just not doing enough where that's concerned, and they want a firm commitment that government will no longer be so reliant on coal-fired power stations by 2035, among some of those demands, Heidi. And today they had MPs both from the ANC caucus and the DA's shadow Minister for Environmental Affairs receiving that memorandum, and also somebody from the Environmental Affairs Department, the Deputy Director General responsible for climate change and air quality, and she, in very brief remarks to the activists, said that government was taking decisions in line with the Integrated Resources Plan, that it was serious about climate change, but that all of this was a process. They had to bear the economy in mind, they had to retain jobs, and it was a work in progress, and these transition takes time, but she wanted to assure them that she would be taking their list of demands to those concerned, to Cabinet, to the Presidency and to her own department, and wanted to give them the assurance that government was being serious about climate change, but with all things that are so mammoth, they take time, to work in progress, and the transition would take place over time.
It definitely is a work in progress. Thanks so much for that update. That's eNCA reporter Lindsay Dentliger in Cape Town.